Hi guys, welcome to ENGR AC. So you're online. I promised a little bit of a video to get you reacquainted with where we are at. So here we go. I have in front of you your online class. Now, as you know, I also have a hybrid class which meets once a week. And then there's you guys who don't meet at all, which we call asynchronous, meaning you are not synchronized at any time altogether. All of us are not together at any point in time because it's online. I will be recording occasional things like this for things that confuse you or just to get us started. So if you have a particular question about something, something's just really confusing you, shout out through email and I will make you a little video like this so we can explain how things work. All right, so just a quick overview. Everything is over here on your toolbar. The sequences are 1, 2, and 3. We are in sequence 1. That's where you're going to start. So you're always going to start by clicking there for the first couple weeks. Note that once you do that, you're going to see all of the major instructions at the top here. That's the sequence 1 feasibility report, which is what we're working on first. Some student samples. I recommend taking a look at those to see what people have done in the past. That might help just kind of give you some visuals. Online tutor, of course, is always here, and there's a link there for that. So we are week 1. So let's click on week 1 and see. You're always going to see something like this. You're always going to see one folder that has the assignments in it, one folder that's helpful stuff. Helpful stuff is always optional, but might include things that I've referred to in class or that other students have found useful. Now, what you should see is something like this, right? I've tried to make it organized in a way that might make sense to you as far as things that are due earlier in the week and things that are due later in the week. You can see that you have some readings to do. It also asks you to read sequence 1. That's the information. If you back up right here, okay, back up to sequence 1. Up here at the top, sequence 1 feasibility report components instructions. That's what we're talking about. Let's take a look at that. So you can see what I mean by sequence number 1. So sequence 1, first you're going to do a little bit of reading, and then what we're doing here is you are creating a feasibility. Sometimes it's called an analytic report, but a feasibility determines the feasibility of something. Now, you're going to be obviously using that in all of the different fields that are required for this particular class. Engineering, bio, cybersecurity, all of those things have see problems and look at problems and go, okay, we need to fix this problem. But the next question is always, what's the feasibility of fixing the issue when I see something, right? So this is what you are going to be doing. You're going to be looking at this website. So this is the website for Indiana Tech, which is the Writing Center. Let me click on it so you can see that. Maybe. Okay, so when you go to this website, this is the website look. You can see that the picture at the top here is from when it used to be in a different building. You can see, hey, that's an old student of mine. Good work, right? So you can see some little videos, virtual writing center. You can see where to find us, writing center staff, writing resources, tutor application, and so on. Now, here's the thing. If you are going to the Writing Center, you probably are most likely going to want to get some feedback on a paper or a resume or a cover letter or something like that. So that's usually the very first thing that you're looking for. So can you do that? Can you find where to submit that? Can you figure out how to find a person to submit that to? Can you figure out where to go if you want to do it live? Where do you do it online? There are certain things here that are easy to find. There are certain things here that are difficult to find. There are certain things where you have to go, wait a minute, where did this go? Do I have to back up to find it? Yes, I do. So some things are easy. Some things are not so easy to find. Some things could use some updating. So what I want you to do is to find 1 or 2 things at max that could be improved. And I want you to think about the feasibility of doing so. So feasibility of creating something that's better. Now, one of the first things you want to do when thinking about a feasibility report is to look at other universities or museums or businesses that have a help center of some kind. How do they put together their help center? How do they organize it? How do they make it, what things are there that are not there at the Indiana Tech one? Maybe maybe you could suggest a chat box to talk to somebody live, or some help with IEEE, because you don't see anything about IEEE, and you know in this class you're going to have to learn IEEE. So there's all this stuff that you don't know what to do with. So you have to first pick something, there's no one right answer here, but pick something on that writing center that you think could be better. And then go do a feasibility study, which means you're going to open up a bunch of other college sites and go, okay, what do they do? How do they fix this problem? Can I find something that looks like it's feasible to do? And that's what the feasibility report will be covering. You'll be analyzing this site that is ours, making some suggestions, and then you'll be producing this stuff. Now, you're going to be producing it in IEEE format. I understand that you don't know IEEE format yet. So the good news is IEEE format will not be graded on this very first assignment. It's required to be in it, but I will not grade. I will mark it so that you can see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, but I will not grade the IEEE format in this first assignment. Okay, so that gives you a chance to kind of try it out, make sure that you feel comfortable with it. Looking down here, I'm not going to read through all of this because you can do that yourself. There's lots of IEEE format links here. Also, there's a whole section in the toolbar for that. But what I want to see here, I'm going to highlight this requirement stuff. Okay, this research-based report. So you must have minimum of three distinct and appropriate research sources. One of those is going to be the link for the website for the Writing Center. You need to find the other two yourself. Okay, so find two more examples. Probably most of the time they're going to be websites of other companies that have something similar to you, where you can find screenshots of something that says, hey, look, this is how we do it, this is how they do it, look, this is better. But it also could be any of these other types of sources, you know, interviews, articles, newspaper accounts, trade journals, financial reports. It could be anything else that's relevant. This is just a comprehensive list of types of research sources that you might use. Most people use other university writing centers and say, look, this is how they did it, and this is how they did it better. And we could do it too. Okay, so this is the document that you're going to look through to make sure that you understand what the components of it are. And then you're going to be utilizing the writing website. Okay, so let me go back over to our site here. Okay, so you're in sequence 1. Okay, so again, week 1, your assignments are going to be to introduce yourself to the class, post a picture so we can get to know you. You're going to be reading chapters 1, 2, and 5, and then taking a quiz. That quiz is over the reading, so make sure that you do that. And then you're going to be posting something here in the discussion board, studying the multiple layers of that writing center we just looked at. List 3 specific things which could be improved, added, deleted, or reorganized to make it better. And then you're just going to be talking to other people in the class to get a feel for what do they see, what do we see, how could we figure this out. You're going to be commenting on 3 other students' posts, and that will end week 1. I've also included an additional ethics article here, money as a weapon system, in case any of you want to work further on the ethical component of the class, which is some of the reading that we do. Let me go back over here. Maybe not. What did we just do? Let's actually try. Okay. Well, my apologies, because this is not what we want. All right. Let's see if we can go back over here. Okay, so this would be week 1 assignments. I'm going to look ahead to week 2 so you can see what's coming up, so you can kind of get a feel for how things work. Okay, again, assignments in week 2. You're going to be continuing your reading, continuing your discussion posts to get a feel for other people's and progress on the writing stuff. And then you'll be creating a memo. Again, keep in mind that at the beginning of the sequence 1, there were student samples and the instructions that I just showed you. So if you want to know, like, what am I supposed to be doing for this? Well, you can't just go straight into the assignment without figuring that out. So let's take a look back here at the top of the sequence 1. You can see there are student samples here. How did other people do this? How did they create a memo that talks about this? Well, there's a whole bunch of them here, right? So let's just open one and take a look at it. This is a student sample of a feasibility report memo. You can see that it's going to be in IEEE, which probably isn't familiar to you, but we'll be talking a little bit more about that. It contains an abstract here at the top. Abstract talks about this, it's like a summary. A biographical sketch, which is something I want you to do from at least one person from somewhere, either in the Writing Center or in the other places that you are investigating. Some sort of quick biographical sketch of someone involved. You're going to see we have some citations down here. We'll talk more about what IEEE citations look like next time we talk. And you can see that there are like these little headings that kind of walk the person through what is the idea here for the feasibility report. You know, what is the thing this particular person has chosen to focus on. There's an overview. They've chosen to focus on the homepage button as the fact that it's not there, and how that makes it really difficult for somebody to find out where they are. So they talk through what that means. They also provide some examples of what it looks like here and what it could look like. Like this is a snapshot of Purdue Fort Wayne's Writing Center and how that looks a little bit different and how it's easier to navigate. So there's also a section for recommendations. What this person says, this would be my recommendation. So we're showing the problem, the feasibility of correcting the problem, some examples of other people that have corrected their problem, some recommendations, and a conclusion. Okay, so and then some references at the end showing where they have found these sources. Okay, so that's a quick overview of where we're going at this point. I hope that helps you a little bit to get moving onto sequence 1 and feel like you know what's going on. I will be talking to you and providing more things about IEEE format so that you can get a feel for what you're going to be writing. Right now you're doing mostly brainstorming and looking at that website and analyzing what problems are located so that you can get a feel for what you want to write. Okay, so that's all I have for you today, and I hope that the rest of your week 1 goes well. You can email me, contact me for any problems that you might have, and we can move forward.